so that anybody who is unable to attend can watch it later. Here we go. So Jose is joining us now. We'll just give her a moment. I've got a game that I want to try out with you all. It's a new game which I've adapted. Hello, Josie, and welcome. So we've got Josie from Hong Kong, Helen, who normally lives in Australia but is in the UK, Jenny in Scotland, David in Norwich, UK, and Yukari in Japan.
And I think Jan is probably joining us later.
Yan from China will be joining us later. Okay, so before I start introducing my game, are there any questions or issues or subjects that anybody would like us to talk about today? Anything in particular? Yukari, you mentioned something about emotions and expressing emotions. Is that something that you want to do more with the students?
Um, well, actually, I don't know the right word is emotion, but today I had a give the student opportunity to make a new story about the, how do you say, old story, like a Cinderella, or how do you call that song in
Fairy
English?
tale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
Fairy.
with the famous story like Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
But I told them, please change something,
Yeah.
not just show the same story.
Right.
So, but maybe that was my mistake, because I just give them, that was the first time to do that. But I just tell them, please choose the theme and then the cast and the story. But maybe I should do something like ice breaking or ice movement, and then
Yeah.
kind of ready to do that's for them, because when I see their outcomes, I think the really good uh, the story or enjoyable thing was only 20%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and that's not their mistake, that was my mistake.
Okay.
I should do more, like a step by step.
Well,
Right. Yeah.
certainly, I think that warm-up games can really help. And fun games where they might play different characters is a good idea. And another suggestion is that instead of saying you want them to change one thing about the fairy tale, you could tell them exactly what you want to change. So you could say, for example, it's Cinderella, but it happens in a supermarket. So you give them something very precise, so they don't have to kind of decide what it's going to be. Cinderella, but it's happening in a restaurant, and how would those characters behave? Yeah, so that might help. But definitely, I think you would want to. Sorry, I've just got something I need to check on the Zoom settings. There we go. Yes, I think character games would be really good. Welcome everybody who's just joined, and we're talking about helping students to create different characters and stories. Yukari teaches Japanese, but she uses drama to help her in teaching Japanese. And I think most people who come here are either using drama to help them teach English, or they're just using drama in their teaching. Helen, you work in Australia. I haven't asked you who you teach and what.
Yeah, I teach drama on a foundation course for international students on the foundation program preparing for University of Melbourne.
Yeah.
So all our students, regardless of what subject they want to study at university, must do drama as part of
Oh, really? That's brilliant.
the
That's
English
really
program.
good.
Yeah. And we focus, it really is a drama program that they do for a year with assessments, including mime, monologue, and group devised work as well. So it's a whole year program, and they meet once a week.
And at the university, do they study all kinds of subjects, you know, like sciences and arts?
Absolutely, none of them want to be actors when they first come here. They all
That's great.
commerce or bioscience or economics. Yeah, anything but drama.
Okay, that's amazing, Helen. Thank you for telling us that. That's sounds like a bit of a challenge then.
A very joyful journey.
Oh, good. That's great to hear. So before I go on and give further ideas, does anybody want to respond to what Yukari was talking about in terms of encouraging students to play different characters and to help them think of variations to story? What, you got anything particular they'd like to add? Well, if you think of anything, just
Can I ask
let me
something?
know. Yeah.
Yukari, did you give them a list of stories they could choose from?
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think that was too much. I gave them a 40
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
How old are they? How old are they?
They are college students, so
Okay.
you know, like 18 to
Yeah.
26 or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
And then today's students are about 50 students. So I thought that maybe 2 or 3 groups, and one group is will be 2 or 3 people. So maybe if I have a more selection, they
Yeah, a
might
bigger selection, right.
But I think that was too much, too
Too
many.
much, yeah.
Yeah.
I always say that I always let my students choose their scene. I give them several scenes, and then I say, okay, you choose which one you want to do for the performance. And then sometimes they come up with, they all want to do the same scene, you know. But it doesn't really matter because they all have a different way of doing it. So I say to the other teacher, any co-teacher that teaches with me, I said, look, it doesn't matter. If they choose the same scene, let them choose the same scene, fine. Because they all have slightly different ways of doing it anyway. So yeah, I'm quite happy to do that. It doesn't matter if it gets duplicated, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay then.
David, can I just say what I did?
Yes, sure.
My group this time wanted to do Cinderella, so we broke them into smaller groups. We knew that we wanted 4 Cinderellas. You know, we knew that we had at least to have 4 scenes, so we got them to do, each had a scene that they had to design themselves. You know, and I'd given them prompts about what was going to happen in this specific scene, so they knew what they had to do, but they improvised it themselves. So that was like so they all did the same story, but each had their own separate scene to do with the story.
That's
Different
really
parts
nice.
of the
Yeah.
story, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Yukari, if you are introducing this kind of work to your students, I would suggest that you perhaps begin with some games and also focus on freeze frames. So it's quite hard for students who are not used to drama to act stories out. And some students will really like it, others won't feel confident. And using freeze frames where they literally freeze in different scenes can be a really good introduction. That's what I would recommend. So, for example, you could give each group a story. This is something I've done a lot. And they would need to know the story in advance. So perhaps you might go through it with them, and then you can give them, for example, 3 scenes from the story that they have to make a freeze frame for. This is very basic drama, but it introduces the idea of creating characters, how those characters might be represented, how they might react to each other. And you can encourage them to have facial expression as well as using physical gesture to represent the characters.
And then, sorry,
yeah.
another thing you could add to that is use a picture. You use Imaginarium with a picture, don't you, David? But you could do it with freeze frames too. You could have a picture with lots of people in it, maybe specific to that particular story if you can. You can't always find pictures like that. Something that could represent that story. Give those different pictures to the different groups and say, start by making a freeze frame, a 3D living picture out of this. And you can take it from there as well.
Yeah, there's lots of these activities you can find on my dramaresource.com website. You'll find all these activities. Yes, welcome to those who have joined us and haven't spoken. I don't know how to pronounce all the names. So Sevda, is that how we pronounce your name, or would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. I'm from Turkey. My name is Sevde.
Sevde.
Yeah. I am working at an education company. I'm working as a project manager. By the way, I do educational things with using creativity, with drama, like this. I'm
really good
with you.
Oh, that's great. That's really good to hear. Welcome to our little meeting then. Okay, I'm going to go on to a game now, and maybe we might come back to some of these issues. And actually, this game is about characters, so it might be helpful in terms of what we've been talking about. So I watched something on YouTube recently. It was an improv game, and let me just find it. Yeah. Let me just get the link. Okay, so it's a very old game. Apparently it dates back, well, I say very old. Apparently it was invented in the 1960s, and there used to be a television program about it, but it's also used as a game in the improv program called Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that still runs, but some of you may know it.
Yes.
So the game is called Let's Make a Date. And it's a bit like one of those blind date programs that you often see on television, where you have one person who's going to go on a date with somebody, and the 3 people are hidden. So it might be one woman and 3 men, or the other way around, or could be a mixture of genders. The people are not seen, and the person who wants to go on the date asks some questions of them. They each answer, and then she chooses who she wants to go on the date with. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a little extract of this game, and then I'm going to talk to you about how I thought it could be adapted to use with children, but also adults, with characters from books and films. So let me share my screen with you, and we'll watch this video. It's not going to take that long. I'll just show part of it.
Yes.
Right. Here we go.
Question number 1. Hi.
Bonjour.
How are you?
I am fine, but not as fine as you.
Wow. Contestant number 2.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I heart eating. If we were going to go out on a date, where might you take me to eat?
Well, yeah. Excuse me. Take you to eat. Well, I'd probably take you to a restaurant, because that's where the food is. Go to the restaurant. Go to the restaurant. We're gonna go to the restaurant.
You sound hecka fun. Contestant number 3.
How are ya?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
I love the out of doors. If we were gonna go somewhere, outside, where would you go?
Well, I've never been inside, so I don't know, we might roll around in the mud for a while. I'd take good care of you. You wouldn't get hurt, have to take me to the court and sue. Sue! Sue! Sue!
Contestant.
Okay, so yeah, that's as much as I'm going to show you because it gives you the idea of how the game works. You can see it's quite funny. It would be quite difficult to play it at that level with language students or with younger children. So I thought of a way of adapting it. And I'm going to describe my idea, and then I thought we could try it out. So the game could be called Who Am I Anyway? All right, Who Am I Anyway? And what happens in this game is that you have one person who is the guesser. So they just have to guess who the 3 characters are. And then you have 3 different characters who are each given a character by the teacher secretly. So they could be on cards that you give to them, they read. And then the guesser asks them maybe 2 different questions. So each person, each one of the 3 characters is asked a question, and then they get asked another question. And finally, the guesser has to try and guess who the 3 characters are, okay? Keeping it simple. So, for example, the characters might be Alice in Wonderland, the Big Bad Wolf, and Frankenstein, all right? And the question might be, do you think it's good to exercise and keep fit? All right. So going back to those characters, Alice in Wonderland might say, oh yes, I do think it's good to keep fit. I love to go potholing, actually. If I see a hole in the ground, I like to jump into it and then go exploring. And you'd be amazed at all the different things that you can find when you go exploring in these potholes. I've met some incredible people down there. Okay. So the next character might, who did I say? I said
Frankenstein.
Big Bad Wolf is going to be
Big
next.
Bad Wolf.
So he might say, oh yeah, I love to keep fit. It's really important that I keep fit because I have to keep really, really strong. So I do lots of yoga because it helps me to balance and to be able to move quietly through the forest. Okay, so you get the idea. Yeah. So I thought that we could play this and we could have secret characters and we could have a guesser. So what do you think? Do you think it's fun?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is give people characters using the chat, secret characters, and let me just get my list. And I'm going to randomly use some characters and send them to people, and then we can try it out. So let's just
So what are the other questions then?
so I'll just do I'll read you some, I'll give you the questions as well. So I've got a whole list of questions that I've just made up. So, for example, if you had £1,000, what would you spend it on?
Okay.
What's your favorite movie? Where would you like to go on holiday? Yeah. So you can obviously change the so I'm just choosing some characters here. You could change the questions and the characters according to who you've got in your class, right? So I'm sending out, let me paste this one in. I've sent 2 characters out so far, and I'm going to send one more. Let's see. So, right, I'm going to send this to. Okay, so 3 of you, Jenny and Helen and Josie, have been sent a character, and I think everybody else could be a guesser. All right, so we'll play it like that so that everybody has something to do, and maybe I'll send some questions to people as well, to the other people. So I'm going to send the other people a few different questions. So let's just do this. Obviously, what you could do if you were doing this in a classroom is to have these on cards or paper to give to people. So this would be a lot quicker. So I'm sending a few people some different questions, and they can choose which question they would like to ask. All right. Let's see. Right. Who's Norma? Hi, Norma. Would you like to play this game?
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay, well, I'm sending you some questions. So I've sent everybody who's got their video cameras switched on either a character or questions. So the characters are being played by Jenny, Helen, and Josie. And I'd like to ask Sesda if you've got a question, one question to ask Jenny, first of all. So switch your speaker on.
Sorry. Okay, Jenny, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is definitely pumpkins. You know, you can never have too many pumpkins. Pumpkins are lovely.
Okay, so let's go to can you ask the same question, Sesta, to Helen, please?
Okay, Helen, what about you?
My favorite food, did you say?
Yeah.
Well, of course, my servants prepare everything for me, but last week they prepared for me a wonderful turkey.
Okay.
Turkey.
Okay.
Nothing but the best.
Lovely. And Josie, would you like to answer the same question? What's your favorite food?
Well, you know, we don't really eat a lot where we are, but if I have to eat, I would eat vegetables.
Okay, now I've got an important phone call that's just come through. Josie, could you take over for a moment?
Sure.
Hello, David Farmer.
Okay, so you sent another question, everybody?
Okay.
Yep,
I'd like to ask Jenny, have you got any hobbies?
Well, my sisters always expect me to clean, so I suppose that'll have to be one of my hobbies, cleaning, doing a lot of cleaning.
Would be great.
Thank you. Now I guess I knew who you are. So how about Helen? Have you got any hobbies?
Oh yes, most definitely. I have a big white horse which I like to ride frequently. And I would love to come and visit you and take you for a ride also. Perhaps we could go and explore together the wonderful, wonderful palace that I live in. Perhaps you would like to join me and I will entertain you.
Thank you. I would love to. So same question to Josie. Have you got any hobbies?
Oh, yes. My favorite hobby is playing tricks on people, you know, when they're not looking, like tricking animals as well, like a fat horse. You know, I'd love to trick them. Oh, it's just so funny, and they don't know where the food's gone. It's great. I love it.
Okay, that's great. So, Yukari, did you ask Jenny as well? Because I wasn't here.
Yes, I
Lovely.
did.
She did.
So I think, Norma, if you would like to choose a question, unmute yourself and let's have 3 questions to each character, and then we'll try and guess who they are. Okay.
Okay. So I will start with Jenny. What's the most exciting thing that's ever happened to you?
I think being invited to the Prince's Ball was something very exciting that happened to me.
Great. How about you, Helen?
The most exciting thing was when I saw a beautiful, beautiful maiden stretched out, and she has been sleeping for 1,000 years, and I was able to wake her up with a kiss.
Great. How about you, Josie?
Oh, well, the most exciting thing that I ever did was change somebody's head into a donkey head. It was so funny. And all his friends were so scared. They ran away. I loved it.
Okay, so I think we had some fantastic answers, fantastic responses from people to the lovely questions that were asked. So anybody can guess. Let's start with Jenny then. Anybody like to guess who Jenny is? And I guess even the characters can guess as well if they want. What do you think? Norma, what do you think?
So I think Jenny is Cinderella.
Yeah, great. Would somebody else? Well done, Jenny. That was well played. Anybody else like to guess and what Helen was playing? Yes.
I think Helen is the, how do you call the White Beauty? White Beauty's prince?
Sleeping Beauty's prince. Is that right,
Sleeping
Helen?
Beauty, yeah.
Yes.
Anybody know the name of the prince?
Prince Charming?
That's it. Yes, he was called Prince Charming. But Yukari and Josie, you got that right. And well played, Helen. So what about Josie's character? I think the last question was one that might have given the game away.
Yeah.
Jenny, what do you think?
Is it Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
but
she
you have to know
about...
Midsummer Night's Dream, right? Otherwise you won't. Yes.
But yeah, what I like about this game is that you could use it if you had been working on a story with the students. You could choose just characters from that story. Or if you were working on a period of history, for example, the Victorians or whatever history topics you would study in your country, then you could choose characters from that period of history. It could be famous scientists, you know, famous explorers. And then for younger children, you know, you could have characters like Cinderella, Paddington, the bear, Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and so on. And I've made a whole long list of characters and a whole long list of questions as well. I'm going to publish it on the game of the week. If you subscribe to it,
Okay,
you'll
great.
be receiving it. But if you like as well, I will post these characters and questions. So I enjoyed watching you play that. So having played it, what do you think? Do you think you could adapt it to use for your students in any way?
Mhm.
And how would you adapt it? Could I ask Helen whether you think you could use that?
Yes, obviously, when we were online, games like this were very helpful and very useful because it didn't require moving around so much, but you could still create character just with a bit of gesture or head position. But yes, I kind of like physical theatre as well. So I would definitely get them up and moving around and walking to find different ways their character might hold their head, or what gestures they might come up with for their character, and get them walking around a little bit in their character to discover the physicality of the character too. Yeah,
that's a great idea. So
and even meeting each other and greeting each other as their characters before they even speak.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I think you could mix and match different drama games and techniques in order to make the most of this. Yeah, any other thoughts from people?
Yes, I really like this activities. David, you gave me the several questions, and so I don't have to think about it. And also, like the first question was, have you got any hobbies? If I'm asking, same question is, what is your hobby? But I can learn something different way to ask about the hobby.
Yes.
So and then also I can choose. If there's only one question, but that's okay. But there are 3 questions, so I can choose. The opportunity to choose question for students, that will be really nice, I think.
So that's really good for language teaching, because
Yes.
you're teaching the students how to form questions and to practice answering them. Asking them. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, any other thoughts from Jenny, Josie, Norma, or anybody else? Welcome, MJ and Royster. Oh, Royster. I'm going to mute you, Royster, for the moment because it's quite noisy where you are, and we can't really hear anything apart from noise. So maybe if you get to a quiet place, you could talk to us. MJ, where are you? Can you unmute?
Hello, I'm in Tunbridge Wells.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, David, you and I have met a couple of times, but a long time ago, and you in your community won't remember me because I was one of many.
How about if you tell me your name?
Mary Jane Stevens, or MJ. I get called MJ.
Oh, you're Mary Jane. Hi.
Yeah. Hello. How do I say your name? Josie?
Josie.
Josie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm so late. My cat has just been to the vet, and I'm amazed he's talking to me because he's had a vet's finger right up his backside.
Oh my.
Yeah.
He's very bad tempered, but anyway, he's all right. Nothing I don't think is wrong. But my apologies for being so late.
Okay.
I should have recognized your cat.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to see you again, Mary Jane. I do remember your name. And in the past, I have run lots of courses. Did you come to the London courses?
I came to the London ones, yeah. And I think we also might have met at Norwich Puppet Theatre once when I was either when I was doing a course there or when I went to see something. So we've met up in that neck of the woods as well.
Oh, right. Good. Yes, that's where I live.
Yeah.
And, I used to run lots of courses in London and literally worked with hundreds of teachers, but it's really nice to see you again and taking part in this. Brilliant.
Thank you very much for welcoming me and for letting me join. It's really interesting.
Yeah, no problem at all. Okay, well, I think that game has got legs, as they would say. In other words, it definitely works. Can anybody think about ways that they might want to change or improve the game for themselves or for anybody else?
I was thinking just of the fact that if the teacher chooses the characters, it's not always the case that the students will know the characters. So if the characters are elicited from the students, that might increase the chances of them knowing who the characters are. But might be that the teacher doesn't know.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, I noticed as I made this list of students, I thought, oh God, this is really showing my age. Showing the books that I grew up with, the films that I know, you know. But luckily, lots of those characters are still, you know, viable and known. But yes, I agree with that. And I think, you know, there's loads of movies that kids watch nowadays that I haven't watched, and they will know those characters like the back of their hands. And then obviously for people that Helen's teaching, they're going to have their own cultural references that they might like to include. And perhaps, one half of the class makes characters for the other half to use or something like that.
That's a good idea.
So that, because otherwise they might find them too easy to guess. And unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, I was thinking of what you just mentioned and using it for my students who especially will be doing their Lambda exams, just for them to get a deeper, you know, understanding of their character. So I will have them like choose the characters, but then I will formulate the questions just so the group can get to understand more about the characters of each other through the 3 different questions. Maybe I'll increase it to 4 or 5 questions, just so they can think more about their character from different angles.
I think that's great. And I think it would be a really good game to play if you were rehearsing a play. It would, yes, as you say, it would be a really good way of filling in background details. And you could think of appropriate questions to suit those characters. Although it's also quite funny just to have the random questions coming up, like, you know, you could ask Puck, who's your favorite band, you know, or you could ask Cinderella, do you play a musical instrument? And that, you know, it means that they have to come up with quite creative answers, and could be fun. I think this could be a really good Christmas game, actually. Might make quite a good party game to play with your family. If you like playing those kinds of games.
My family doesn't like drama, so there you go.
Okay. Shame. Well, luckily you've got us to play with.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So anything else that anybody wants to raise or talk about or ask about that we haven't mentioned so far? Now, Rojda, where are you now? Which country are you in? We can't hear you at the moment. We can see you, but even though you've unmuted, your microphone isn't working. You could try unplugging the headphones and just speak into the phone or computer.
Is okay now?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, where are you?
I am in Istanbul, Turkey.
I thought you might be Turkish, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Were you the Turkish person we were speaking to earlier on? You're not, are you?
No, different one.
So I was getting
Different one.
confused there because she's had to leave. So we had
Yes,
another
yes.
colleague from Turkey
Yes.
earlier on here.
Yes.
Did you
Her
say
name's
so?
Sevda.
Cesar?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I was here when she's talking.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
And could you tell me your name again, please?
First, my name is Rojda. I'm from
Rozya.
Turkey. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm originally Kurdish. I'm I did my PhD we have contact, David. We had contact before.
Ah.
I want to join your lesson, your workshop, but I couldn't because your workshop it was in Greek.
Ah.
So I couldn't come there.
Greece, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm creative drama teacher. I have been working since 2010. I did my MA in London, and yes, I graduated from Istanbul University. I did my PhD about Syrian refugee women, how they can have adaptation in Turkey life with creative drama method.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
great.
Yes. I do
Sounds
remember
amazing.
speaking to you before.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's really amazing that you've
Much.
done that
Yeah.
study.
Thank
And are you still involved in working with refugees?
Yes, still I am working with the refugees. I am volunteer actually. I use creative drama, but before the creative drama, we are cooking, talking, and find the subject. Then I prepare lesson. For
Okay.
every week we do same thing. Before we eat and talk, then we are find the topic, and then we have a creative drama workshop. It has
Brilliant.
been 10 years, and still going. We are working on it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to know more about you. And Mary Jane, who do you teach?
I'm so I'm a trained drama teacher at secondary level. I did that about 10 years ago, but for the last sort of year I've been completely freelance again. So I've gone back into I do some special needs work, kids with communication problems. I do all sorts of different things. I'm part of a project at the University of Kent that uses immersive play with young people with autism. I do work at the moment with adults using drama as a way of sort of developing their creativity. So I work with a wide spectrum of kids. But for a few years, I was a classic secondary school teacher I had 472 students through my hands every 5 days because I taught to keep grade. So I mean, it's impossible. It's obscene, really, because it started to actually make me because I couldn't get to know any of them. You know, I knew the naughty ones at the top and the really, really talented ones who loved drama, and then there was this huge wodgy in the middle that I just couldn't get to know. So yeah, I got out of teaching. Teaching in a school wasn't my sort of part of the plan, really, but I got offered to be trained on the job, and you just don't, in drama, you don't turn something like that down, really.
No.
Well,
Very rare. Good training, tough experience.
Yes.
Hopefully it's given you a good background.
I've learned loads out of it about things like behavior management and stuff like that, and also loads about planning. You know, planning much more precisely with a kind of clear target. You know, I was probably a bit wishy-washy before that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, we've got about 10 minutes or so left, and I was just thinking about Christmas games, Christmas drama games, and whether you have any particular games that you like to play at Christmas with your students as a kind of more fun thing to do. I've got a couple of games in my head that I know I've played just because they're good fun. And I wondered if there's anything that anybody here would like to add. Yeah, Mary Jane again. Hello again. Unmute yourself.
I've just thought of a one that could very easily be converted to Christmas, i.e. have a sort of Santa Claus or an elf costume, which that grandmother's footsteps, but with a costume.
Oh yeah.
And have it with an audience, so it becomes a clowning. I think it's more like a clowning game then. So the audience sit and watch, and you maybe have 3 or 4 people trying to, you know, beat grandma, and one grandma who faces the audience very close. And they have to dress up as a Christmas character as part of that grandmother's footsteps process. It's very funny, and it's very clowny because these sort of archetypal sort of reactions and poses come out. I've seen it played in with just sort of random costumes, but I think it would work very well at Christmas time.
Now, I do know a version of the game that's like that. Is it the one where you put items of costume on the floor?
Yes, exactly that.
So as they're creeping along to try and tap grandma on the shoulder, if they find a hat or something, they have to try and put it on and then freeze if grandma looks.
Freeze, absolutely freeze. Yes, you have to be strict. So you could play it with one group, or you could maybe have two separate groups where one person is getting dressed up in each group. So say A in each group is getting dressed up, but B, C, D helps them, so that you've got a sense of competition with 2 groups moving forward. You know, and obviously kids love a bit of competition, and there's more to look at.
Yeah,
that's I'd run it. It's very funny.
Oh, that's really good. That's a really fun physical game. Yeah, I like that.
And can I suggest that if you know, later on with adults with some alcohol, might be also quite a fun thing to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would go really well. Okay, so now that's a fun game, and obviously there are the traditional Christmas games like Pin the Tail on the Donkey that I played when I was a kid, and Pass the Parcel and stuff like that. But there's a game that I've played at Christmas before, and it's not got a Christmas theme, but it's completely different to the Grandma's Footsteps one, and it's for people who have got good language level. So it might be suitable for people like Helen and anybody who's working with those who've got good language level. And that is something I've played here before. It's the adverb game.
Oh yeah.
And it's where the group chooses an adverb and somebody goes out. First of all, someone goes out the room. The rest of the group choose an adverb, for example, happily or mysteriously. And the person comes back in and asks anybody in the room to act something out. Or it could be that they all act something out, or 3 of them act something out. And they get to do this 3 times. And after the 3 times, they then have to try and guess the adverb. Yeah. Now, when you play this with people who have English as a native language, they can do it with any adverb, because obviously they have a wide knowledge. But if I've done it with language learners or teachers of English as a foreign language, and we do it by having a list of adverbs that people can choose from. So, for example, happily, sadly, mysteriously. Can anybody else think of some? Maybe type in to the chat some adverbs, and I will continue typing some in as well so that we have some to choose from. What else can we have?
Oh, she's gone. Okay.
Oh, I know. Right, we've got lots there. That's really good. So, Would anybody like to be the guesser to try this game out? Mary Jane, you've got a big smile on your face, and so is Helen. So I think you could be the two guessers, all right? So what I would like you to do is maybe just put your hands over your ears and close your eyes for 10 seconds. And I'm going to choose an adverb. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm choosing now. No, hands over ears. So the rest of you, Kari, you need to hear this.
Okay.
We're going to do nervously, all right?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so come
You
back.
can.
You can come back. We just need Helen back now. That's it. So Helen and Mary Jane, you can ask one or all of us to act out an activity, and we will do it in the style of this particular adverb, which you then have to try and guess. Okay.
I would like to see you all drink a cup of tea.
Okay.
In this way. Oh.
Oh dear.
Okay, Mary Jane, can you ask us to do another activity?
Yeah. Did you brush your teeth in the manner of the word?
Okay.
David's got a very clear facial expression there.
Yeah.
And Yukari as well looks. Is it something like scaredly or frightenedly?
Or nervously.
Nervously.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. It was nervously. That was
Ah.
excellent.
Very good.
All
Very
right.
good.
Yeah, so let's play it again. Who would like to be the guessers? How about Norma and Rosja? Would you like to be the guessers? Yeah? Okay. So put your hands over your ears, Norma and Rosja. And that's it. So we're going to choose, I'm going to choose one just to save time. So I'm going to say excitedly, okay?
Okay.
Difficult to get them back.
Rosha!
Norma, come back. Norma, come back.
Hello.
Okay, we want you back now. So, Norma, would you like to choose something for us to do? And we'll do it in the way of this adverb.
I would like all of you to make a phone call with that in that way.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Ah. So if I okay, I would like you to read a book in that way. Do I say if I think I got it?
Go on then. Yeah, what was it?
Is it
Surprise.
excited?
Yes. But Rojda, you didn't get to ask any
I'm
activities.
sorry.
So you can, that's all right. You can be the next guesser, Rojda. Okay. So close your ears. If you close your ears again, Rojda, we'll play it one last time. And that's it. So how about romantically? That's quite a funny
hard.
one. Yeah, let's
That's
do
pretty
that.
hard.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see what happens then.
Okay.
Okay, Rojda. So unmute yourself and ask us to do something.
Okay, can you dance with your feelings like this?
Okay. Okay. Now you can ask us to do another activity.
When you play the game in the park with this emotion.
A game in the park. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. I will guess emotionally.
Nearly. Something to do with
Heartfully.
it's quite we did choose a
Uh,
very difficult one for you to guess.
heartfully,
beginning with the letter loving. Yeah, it's romantically. Okay.
It's very
So
difficult.
it wasn't an easy one, but loving,
No, it's very difficult.
emotionally, that was all very close.
Yes.
And if you play this with native speakers, then it's quite interesting because it gets very nuanced. You know,
Yeah.
so the word might be nervously, but people might guess frightened, or they might guess scared, or I can't think of other adverb, but they might guess ones that are close. And then the person has to try and be more subtle, you know, to show the difference between romantically and lovingly, for example. So it really does require acting skills. But of course, if you were doing it with students of English, you would choose very obvious adverbs like slowly, happily, slowly, happily, yeah, other ones like that. Obvious ones. Elegantly is a nice one I've just seen on the list. So look, I'm going to just post on here all the characters that I thought of for the game that we played earlier on. There's quite a few of them. So let me just copy those and paste them in. And then I will also send them out at some point as a game. And here are all the questions that I wrote down as well.
David, what was the game called? Because I obviously missed the beginning bit.
Yes, it was called.
You said it all out, won't you, anyway?
Yeah, no, it's a new game that I made up called Who Am I Anyway?
Right.
And let me just paste in these questions.
Okay.
That's the first lot of questions. It wouldn't let me paste them all in, so I'm pasting them in 2 lots. So you can copy them if you want to. But what I'll do is because I normally send out an email about the recording, I could include them in that.
Yeah, probably better.
Yeah, then you can copy them if you can't do it here. And who was it who said you weren't here for the game? Was it Mary Jane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea was it was a little bit like an old-fashioned dating game that they have on TV, but it was adapted so that you have a guesser, and then you have 3 people who are given cards with names of random characters on, like Cinderella, Mickey Mouse, and Frankenstein. And then the guesser has a list of questions that they can ask, like what's your favorite hobby, or where would you like to go on holiday? And each character has to answer each of the 3 characters has to answer the same question. And then you could decide whether you wanted each character to be asked 2 questions or 3 questions, depending on how long it takes the guesser to guess.
Great.
And we
Like
did
that.
have some other feedback about that. You could watch the video to see that if you want.
Yeah, great.
See what we talked about.
Brill.
Okay, everybody. Thanks very much for a very lovely Christmassy meeting. And really nice to have some people who have been before, but not for a long time, and some who haven't been before. So fantastic to see you. Do come again. And if you are a member of the Inspiring Drama Teacher group, then you'll always receive notice of these meetings. Otherwise, you'll have to watch out for the email on the day. Rightio then.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And see you all in the new year.
See you.
January.
Bye.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year and have a
Yeah,
great
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah,
and
have a
Happy
great
New
Christmas.
Year.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Happy New Year.
Thank
Bye.
you all. Bye.
Bye.